Hello, folks. Wilson Ninja here, bringing you another nerdy video. As you can probably tell by the line and the small little indication, let me get the camera up here. It is night. Uh, I was gonna do this review tomorrow, and I was also thinking of doing it earlier today, but I am very unwell, which is the reason why all my Anthem Let's Play videos on Twitch have been pretty much me silent, with the exception of two videos. Where I tried doing a live thing, but my voice started getting strained, and I had D&D that day, and in the end I was just like, no, might as well rest. But anyway, this is an Anthem review. The reason why I'm doing this video now instead of tomorrow, when I possibly could have finished the game, is because I am just. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I am just sort of sick because I'm seeing all these videos popping up on my YouTube recommendations, and I'm seeing all these posts that like Anthem's reviews are bombing, or it's worse than Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, now I've watched some of these reviews and I've looked at some of the other reviews. Some reviews are people that I trust a bit more than a lot of random people on YouTube, and a lot of these negative reviews are from people who are judging the game based on the open beta, the VIP beta, and then the 10-hour beta um, type of situation. And I'm like, wow, so you guys are even looking at it without the day one patch notes or the day one patch. And yet you have the gall to try and review this game. You know? Now, I'm actually going to quickly jump onto on my computer, right? I'm on my phone's on my desk, as you know that I'm now using my phone thanks to my tripod. I'm trying to do a lot more of these sort of like in front of the camera videos. Now, as I said, I want to use a different mask, but that mask is unfortunately missing. Well, let's see. If I jump onto my video producer. Now, as you all know, when I do my video game Let's Plays, I try and keep my videos in around an hour. So that way they're easily digestible, and that way the good stuff is happening. Not, it basically means that I don't have to constantly restart my videos ridiculously often. Now, the last numbered, I've been numbering these because I do plan to upload them all tomorrow. So they will be going on YouTube tomorrow. But I've been sort of numbering them when I have time. The last numbered one is 16, then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I have about 21 hours of Anthem gameplay over the course of this weekend. So, as you can tell, I've been playing it non-stop, with the exception of today. I missed out on a lot of hours today due to how unwell I am. I have been trying to focus on getting better and whatnot. Okay, so I can safely say I'm near the end of the story. The current quest I'm on, I'm not going to go into details on the quest because of spoilers, but let's see. The quest name that I'm on is, okay, these are critical objectives. Okay, there are two. I have, I have Freelancer Down and Dear Diary. Okay? Now, they're the critical objectives. I probably would have got a lot further down the line if I wasn't doing the agent quests and the agent contracts, or doing like the stronghold. Okay, and I did waste on Thursday. I did waste a considerable amount of hours doing just expedition mode because I was playing. I was watching Critical Role. So, that it's safe to say I have a large amount of this game played. Okay, it's safe to say, you know. I'm not gonna say I know everything about the game, but it's safe to say I have a reasonable amount of knowledge. Okay? So, first off, let's talk about graphics. Now, my television is shit. It's a HD screen. Don't get me wrong, but it is shit. Like, the only reason why I haven't replaced it is because of two reasons. One, money, and set two, it technically works. Which goes back into one. I'm a bit of a cheapskate when it comes to some stuff like this. But the game is stunning, and I want to play it on my brother's Xbox One. He has like the updated version of the Xbox One that I have, and he also has a much better television screen than I do. So I want to play it on his telly and Xbox just to be able. I believe he has an Xbox One X. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on it, but I'm fairly certain he does. Okay, but on the screen right now, it looks absolutely stunning. The way the light sort of interacts with the environment, the shadows, it's phenomenal. The way the things that are apparently made of fabric sway in the wind. When I walk up to a sentinel in the fortress, I can see the scratches on his armor where the paint is chipping away. You know, it is phenomenal, phenomenal. English. Now, in terms of now, when it comes to talking to characters, one of the other things about I saw was lack of expression. Now, I will say that there's seemingly a lack of expression in the non-main plot line into character NPC interactions. There is a little bit to that argument. There is a little bit, but for the most part, it is unfounded. And I've people have been like the characters have been expressive in their dialogue. Unfortunately, that expressiveness has sometimes where they're not quite looking at the player. It looks like. See, this is the problem with keeping everything in Fort Taris in first person perspective. In my opinion, that's one of the downsides of this. It does not look too organic, and it takes away some of the appearance because it does sometimes look like they're staring off into space when they're talking to you. Now, again, this is only with some of the more side quest stuff. Where it comes to the main story, however, they're looking straight at you, and it feels like they're looking right in your character's eyes, and they are so expressive, especially with the character Owen, and Faya and Hallock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but those three characters are the most expressive. Now I've seen other characters be as expressive, and I have seen some of the NPCs be expressive. Again, there's some moments where it feels like it's not really there, but again, that's a hit and miss, and that is to come to be expected with Bioware games, when it's actually to come to with a lot of games that do a first person perspective for all their cutscenes. It's not the best. It was like there were some moments even in Halo where I was like, "Are you looking at me? Or are you looking to the side of me?" Um, and again, and I can understand that. Sorry, folks. I'm just walking around Fort Tallis, just admiring the beauty. Um, but okay. Now, in terms of the story, the story is absolutely amazing. Um, like I'm not big into creation, like mythicism or spiritual stuff. Like, for example, like the Anthem of Creation, like the fact that it seems to be a fact in this game's universe. Like this is a fact that it does create pretty much everything. It created humans, it created the wildlife, it created everything. This is a fact. I'm not too big on games with that. Hell, like there are some bit aspects of Assassin's Creed I'm a bit iffy about, like the fact that humans were created to be slaves by the first civilization. I'm like, but still, this is the mythos that this game is setting up. Okay, so even with that, like I'm right now, my characters, I'm looking at the shadow, and I can see without looking, there's a flag swaying in the wind, and it looks like shadow looks amazing, and it makes me want to look up. Now, Fort Tallis is in its own regard very beautiful because it had like especially when you get to the market area, it is so multicolored. You know, like it's just astounding. And also like the people there, like in my opinion, they suit the environment that I'm seemingly being placed in when it comes to this game. Like everyone seems to have fairly tan skin, and that's because for the most part it is a very bright and it does seem like a very hot environment when that Fortalis is in. So therefore, the people would have like very tanned or very dark skin, and I like that. You know, now there are a few you would call Caucasian people scattered about, but even then they're not overly pale. The only real proper pale characters I've seen in this game are those that are associated with the Dominion, like those NPCs, and the Dominion has been mentioned to come from the north, and generally in the northern, in most sci-fi and fantasy settings, when you go to the north, it's generally cold. And again, that is very clear. That's a very similar thing that happens in real life. Like, there's a reason why Europeans, like Caucasians, are very pale skin, whereas then you get the more closer to the equator you get, to the more hotter climate you get, the darker people's skin tend to be. So I get that. I honestly do get that, and it's a nice choice because this is not set in our world. I will say it's not. I would say debunk the rumor that it's associated with Mass Effect as well. I would also say that. Now that's gone. That's the graphics. Okay, that is the graphics aspect, and the facial stuff. Like, because again, I only mentioned the facial stuff because it was such a huge issue, early game, sorry, early launch for Mass Effect Andromeda, which I don't bloody get. Like, why was that an issue? But anyway, gameplay, fucking amazing. Okay, I have been favoring the Interceptor more than the other javelins, and I really should try out the other javelins if I'm being honest. I tried them out in the during the betas, and I did love them. They were fun to play. See, I'm still sick. The other anthems were really fun to play, and technically I should at least outfit some of them, which I might as well do now. I'll start with the in order Colossus. But anyway, so the Interceptor, it's really fun. This game, if you're a big fan of Iron Man, this is definitely a game for you. Just because you feel like Iron Man with four distinct suits that do various different things. You know, they all have their own benefit. You know, so with that being said, is there an aspect of this game that I don't like? Yeah, there is. Like in terms of the gameplay, I am not a big fan of how the game handled dialogue choices. I generally we only get the two options, which are this button or this button. This one seemingly is always you're nice or honest, whereas this one is if you're being a bit more of an asshole or you want to lie, you know, type of situation. Um, I don't know how I feel about that, just because but when it comes to Bioware games, I'm used to a lot more options, and you're not getting that many dialogue options. So I do wish they gave us more. Um, Especially given the events of the story, which I'm going to talk about right now, folks. So, spoiler alert! I'm going to do the usual 10-second countdown, and if you're still here, I will spoiler alert. Okay, folks. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, folks. Spoiler time. During the main story, there was a bit of a situation where the character Owen, you talk to him in between missions, like you know they're optional, and even there are some dialogue options when you're during main missions with him, like some cutscenes with him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel a bit ripped off because at some point in the story, he's going to betray your character, and I like I don't get how why he would do it. Like, I understand his character has gotten frustrated with your character, but still though, like, it's a bit of a rip for a Bioware game to allow us to build this relationship with this character, but then but then it seems like there was no point at all. Like, it seems like nothing we would have said or done with him would have made any kind of difference. And to me, that's a bit of a rip. Like, I'm like, why allow us to talk to him? Why allow us to develop this relationship with him if you're just gonna pull the thing right down from underneath us? You know what I mean? So, I wish they would have, like, it would have meant a little bit more. In that regards. But anyway, I can move on from that. So that's I just wish there was more of a reason for us to go through all the effort of talking to him and developing that character relationship with him. But okay. Spoiler is over, folks. I will put thing down to jump to 16:20 for no spoilers. Alright, so back to the gameplay. As I said, I will try and play a bit more of the javelins once the story is over. I just want to really finish it because I enjoy the cutscenes, seeing my interceptor in them, you know. So I will get to that point. So don't worry. What's this? Classless default. There's not much of it. Why even if I see that? Sorry, folks. I'm talking about the vinyls. Let's switch this to that color. Let's swap out that green. Oh, sorry, pardon me, folks. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel ripped off when it comes to that decision. But anyway, so overall, though, the game is amazing. Like, it's definitely top tier game material. I can see that I would actually, if this game is treated right, I can see it easily achieving um, awards. If it's, as I said, if it's treated fairly. Now, the one problem is a lot of people are enjoying jumping on bandwagon, like the hate wagons and all that, which is a crying shame with this type of game. Because there are games that do get their unjust dues, like, so they end up getting destroyed regardless. Now, onto the microtransactions, folks. As you even saw in one of my videos, as you saw occasionally in my videos, they're not fairly expensive. Like, I started the game off with about 64,000 coins. Okay, about 64,000 at my most. Okay, and I spent it. I spent it all on an N7 vinyl that I could apply to all my javelins. I do not regret it. I'm being honest, I do not regret it. I love the N7's thing. But okay, anyway, it has now been 2 days. As I said, it's just been about 20 hours. And from doing missions, from just playing the game, I've earned 57,230 coins. That's how many coins I have left. I have now. Um, and two things that are currently in for, like, okay, like, there's stuff that are the most, it seems to be about 61,000 for like for a 4 piece, with the exception of the helmet, armor. Okay, it gets fairly expensive. Yeah, that's for the in-game currency, but then it's 850 for shards. And let's see the price of 850 shards. I think they're about €10 in Europe. Okay, So €9. Sorry, they're about €10. There's a sale because of EA access. So okay, so let's say €10 if you don't have EA access, right? €10. Okay, €10 for a cosmetic set of piece of armor. That's not bad. I've seen games that would charge you more than that. You know, like Old Republic does it in form of loot boxes, but they can charge 10 plus euro for some stuff. Okay. Now, the amount of money that I'm going to get at the end of the week in 1 day, 1 hour, and 60 minutes, because I have friends who just invited me now. I have a friend who play the game a lot, and I've been playing a lot. So my alliance tier is at tier 8. I'm getting 8,175. So in 2 days, sorry, in a day's worth of gameplay with 24 hours, with about 20 hours under my belt, I've earned just under the amount that I spent. Okay, what's the difference between? Oh, sorry, folks. I got a chat thing there. What's the difference between a black? Okay. Who's that user? Water. Uh, sorry, Water Boy Dalton. Yeah, I'm sorry, but what the hell? Like, why would you? Why do you feel the need to troll the live chat like that? Come on now. There's no fucking reason to have that type of comments. It's just completely uncalled for, man. Like, what the hell? No bloody reason. Okay, okay. One, I'm not wearing a blackface. This is just a mask. Okay, it's something I've decided to do with my videos, and people seem to like it. Okay, it's the mask that I wear when I do Ludosport. Blackface is intentionally wearing something to get is essentially trying to insult some African descended people. So completely different reactions. Okay. All right, folks. I'm just going to ignore these commenters and then I'll report them later. Because I'm trying. All right. So back to the review, folks. So the game is absolutely amazing, and it's just stunningly beautiful graphics. As you can see in my Twitch videos, like especially when you get out of Fortalis, it is absolutely stunning. My favorite locations are the ones near the jungly areas with lots of waterfalls because the way the light is, the light and the shadows is just stunning, and the colors of some of the plants. Now, in terms of difficulty, the game can get fairly difficult if you don't know what you're doing. I've had several friends who find it impossible. They know, to use their words, it's impossible to play the game on hard difficulty when they're using the interceptor. Um, okay, yeah. So, hello, folks. Hide use on this channel. Okay. All right. So I removed some of the trolls from the channel. Um. Anyway, as I was saying, um, yeah, he said it was very impossible to play the game on hard difficulty as an interceptor. Now, I've messed around with the interceptor since the open beta, and I find that you need to play to the interceptor's strengths, which is its melee. and combo triggering melee attacks, and the sheer volume that it gets to attack in. So what I did was, you might have seen it at this point, if you watch my Twitch videos. Okay. Okay. So what you would have noticed is the way I did my interceptor was I did a lot of acid damage, so that way it will bring down my enemy's defenses, and then quickly uh, then I charge into melee, get my combo. I only use detonators. I don't use detonators. I only use primers in terms of my attacks, and then I use my melee attacks to be my detonator. Now, some people will probably disagree with me on that, but I find that the game is significantly easier when you play to that. I also use the RB and LB attack targeting beacon. You're getting started. Don't understand that comment. So, anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of sort of ways you can build your interceptor to deal with higher difficulties. It is difficult. Like if my interceptor takes a hit, I drop. It cannot take a hit. Um, Now I haven't played. Um, okay, I'm talking about Anthem, the game released by Bioware over the weekend. So the game has a bit of a high difficulty learning curve because if you don't know what your interceptors, how your javelin, sorry, the strengths and weaknesses of your javelin, you can pretty much get creamed a lot. So there is that slight curve where, like with most loot games, you really need to know what you're doing before you can really get into the higher tier stuff. The game is best with friends. Now there's some promises that I not sorry, they're not really promises because technically Bioware never came out and said this will be a thing. Um, but one thing I definitely wish that Bioware would have done was allow you to go into expeditions alone. Now technically, whenever you go on an expedition in free play mode, you don't have to you don't have to play with the people that are in your squad. You can go fuck off onto another place on the map by yourself while they're doing their own thing. So technically that is an option. It's just that you cannot launch the game privately in free play mode. I wish you could, and then you could leave it open for your friends to join. I wish they had that type of option so that way you only can really play with your friends. But I understand that this game is co-op centric, and therefore they decided to make it so that you can't. All right, folks. With all that being said, and I do apologize for me stopping occasionally to read out a comment. We had several trolls who, unfortunately, um, sorry, we had several trolls who, by the look of the username, just wanted to get an illicit reaction. And as soon as I called them out on their action, they resort to commenting on the fact that I choose to wear this mask. You know? So, yeah. Unfortunately, it's the internet. I can't really do anything about that except for hide them from, sorry, try and remove them from the channel and the like. It's all I can really do. So, unfortunately, that's about it. Alright, time for the final review. I'm going to break this down into multiple smaller reviews and then I'll give a universal review. Graphics, I would give 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. The graphics are stunning. They could have put a bit more effort on, as I said, the NPCs of side quests, and that I wish they did, but it's still stunning. It's still a beautifully stunning game. Next, then we have story. The story is amazing, and I can't wait to finish it. I'm near the end, I believe. I honestly believe I'm near the end, and I'm already loving the story, and I want to find out what the hell happens. Especially with Owen being that the fact that he wants to be a dancer, he wants to be a freelancer, and while also being his own cipher. I want to see does his goal become achieved. I want to find out what happens to Faye and Hallock. But I also want to see what happens to all these other side characters. I would have finished the main story if I wasn't getting caught up by them. Um, so yeah, even the side stories are brilliant. Gameplay wise, so fun. Like I've hadn't had this much fun in an open world game of this style in such a long time. Not since Borderlands 2. Not since Borderlands 2. And I'm just loving it. I feel like there could be a bit more done on the social aspect of the game. I feel like there's no reason to go into the special lounge they have for socializing and showing off your javelins without being in free play mode. There's not enough reason to go in there. So I wish they would have invested a bit more in that, but who knows, maybe in the free updates. The microtransaction, their situation with the microtransaction is acceptable. It's like for €10 you can buy one skin, one set of armor, and then that's it. And that all like that €10 would be put into developing the free DLC and whatnot that Bioware is going to release for this game. So yeah, this is a game with microtransactions, but they're doing the microtransactions correctly, in my opinion. Let's see what else can I review in terms of this game. Well, that's about it. Accessibility. The game as I said, the game has a bit of a learning curve when it comes to the other javelins, but for a lot of the javelins, it is very easy to pick up and play. Now, in terms of lore, that's another thing I want to talk about, folks. The lore of this game, like this game, there's one thing that does sort of bother me about this game, and that is the amount of lore it has, and the way they did it. Like it's similar to Mass Effect, where you have an option. This is called the library, and there's a set like it has multiple tabs, and this is where it gets annoying. You have the society tab, which is broken up into more bloody tabs. And like you have society, environment, geography. To quote one of my favorite YouTubers that reviews animes and manga, geography is everything. Now he does it much better. There's a geography tab, histories tab, technology, your stories tab, and miscellaneous tab. And let's see, if I even click onto the environment, I click onto fauna, which is, a fancy word for animals. So, like, even fauna is another side tab that like, then goes into that section, right? So, there's tabs within tabs, and there's just so much lore to digest, you know? And it's just amazing. Like, there's a lot to read, folks. There's literally a ton to read, you know? So at some point, I would like to do a lore series on Anthem. That's I'm being brutally honest. I want to do a lore series on Anthem just because there's so much lore. But anyway, folks, it's time for me to hopefully finish off the story tonight. Hopefully. And so this is Wilfred Ninja signing out. May the force be with you, and remember,